Good morning, folks, and welcome to another Glenn Maney Talks Chelsea. I'll get on to that dire performance against Brighton last night in a bit. But first of all, I would like to thank every single Chelsea fan who was outside Stamford Bridge last night. A real show of fan strength that sort of showed the way forward to other clubs, really. I think what this last few days has shown is, remember when the Chelsea pitch owners wouldn't sell to Abramovich when he wanted a new stadium? Well, they were absolutely bang on the nail, absolutely right not to do it, because as much as I thank Roman Abramovich for the money he's put in the club and for what he's done for Chelsea Football Club, I think the last few days has shown, not just Abramovich but the whole board, that we just can't trust them. You don't become a multi-billionaire or even a multi-millionaire without being a bit of a psychopath. And I don't mean a psychopath that goes around killing people like Michael Myers. I mean someone that will tread on anyone and disregard anyone's feelings in order to make money or obtain power. And that is what we've got, and it's what most of the Premier League Super Six have got. So well done everyone out there. Well done everyone that signed the online petition. I think there are about 4 petitions going, and in total quite a few thousand people, and I reckon there must have been a couple of thousand people outside the bridge last night. So if I could, I would shake every single one of their hands. I couldn't get to the bridge last night, so I sent a letter, well, an email to Chelsea Football Club telling them of my disgust. I saw some people yesterday on social media, well, it might be a good thing. Remember the Premier League. Go and do your research, go and do your history. At least the Premier League was for us domestic fans. Yes, we got ripped off. Yes, we are still getting ripped off. The only way we could do anything about it would be by scenes last night, but you won't get that for ticket prices. You won't get that for shirt prices. You won't get that for Sky TV subscriptions. It took someone basically making a power grab. They didn't care if they left the Premier League. They wanted to leave the European Cup, and you would have got 22 games a year, worldwide TV rights straight to the clubs. Wouldn't be bothered about you as fans. I remember reading a book quite a few years ago now. I can't remember the author. And he was saying one day TV rights will be so immense, because it'll be worldwide, that they'll have to give tickets away to people outside the ground to create some atmosphere. And I think that would have been the first step, this Super League, to that sort of dystopian way of going to football. I really, really do. So well done everyone. Well done everyone outside Stamford Bridge. Well done Chelsea pitch owners. Well done everyone that signed the petitions. And we just showed that if you really mean it and you really show a show of force, a show of commitment, a show of love for your club, that you can get psychopaths to change their minds. And I've got to say, I suppose, well done Chelsea Football Club for realising that you were going to lose. You were on a no-winner because of the power and the love of the fans of all ages. And just well done to everyone again. Right, so that's out of the way. And I would just like to say, last night was abysmal. Abysmal. It was Chelsea 0, Brighton 0. Everything that's been good lately, apart from the West Brom game, was bad last night. Hats off to Brighton. hats off to Brighton, probably spurred on by the fact that they were playing one Super 6, because that's all. If I'd been manager of Brighton, that's all I'd have stuck on the dressing room wall. Is we're playing one of the self-appointed Super 6 who could lose to West Brom 5-2 on the wrong night. But I thought last night was terrible. When I saw the team announced, I was hoping that Billy Gilmour would get a run out. I'll be honest, I think he deserves it, and I think last night would have been made for him. But what we got, when I saw Jorginho without Kante in the middle or without Kovacic, I've said this before, I knew that the game would be slowed down too much. And against these teams, they don't actually high press as such, although Brighton did press. They were very disciplined in getting back to a sort of 8-man block behind the ball all the time. And you need quick tempo. You need quick tempo. You need quick ball playing to do that. And last night, our tempo was non-existent. Yes, we could have had a couple of goals. Pulisic should have scored. I thought Kai Havertz should have got to the ball where the keeper come out and made a save. A couple of shots. Zuma must have stung the keeper's hands. But all in all, an abysmal performance, lacking any sort of tempo, any sort of urgency, and I thought we were pretty awful. So here's the players' scores. Kepa didn't really do anything wrong. A couple of saves. Looked pretty confident. Kepa gets a 7.5 from me. Reece James, he did okay. Felt a bit sorry for him because he was left exposed quite a few times, which happens when you don't play Kante or Kovacic in front. Maybe Jorginho and Gilmour would have been better. Gilmour can get forward, but anyway, Reece James got left exposed quite a bit. Gave away a couple of silly balls. Did his best to get things going, but what can you do? Reece James gets a 7 from me. In the middle, we had Andreas Christensen. Okay. Lost out a couple of times to people. Not particularly dominant in the air. Hasn't played a lot lately, so I'm not going to slag the lad. He gets a 6.5 from me. In the middle, we had Zuma. Zuma gave away an awful ball that they should have scored from last night. Lallana should have put that away easy. Not one of Zuma's best games. Okay in the air like we'd expect. Zuma gets a 6.5 from me. Rudiger last night, a little bit impetuous. But I'll tell you what, he did try bringing that ball out of defence. Lots of strong runs. And Rudiger was one of the better players in the side last night. Rudiger gets a 7.5 from me. Alonso, I didn't even know what he was doing. Every time he got the, I think he put one ball in. Every other time he got caught out on that left wing. Fair enough, they were getting out to him quick, but there was no thought to push the ball by him and swing across in. It was always backwards. And defensively, yeah, just about sums it up. Alonso gets a 5.5 from me. In the middle, Jorginho, back to his old ways of backward passing, 3 forward passes that were stuck in the shed end. Worked hard. The boy always works hard. Always there to take the ball, like the reason I gave him the man of the match award against City was because he he will take the ball in sort of dangerous, tight situations. Last night, his pass selection was pretty dire. Yeah, not the worst player on the pitch, but pretty negative all round again. Jorginho gets a 6.5 from me. Mason Mount was having to play so deep last night that we didn't get the best of him. He was trying to get forward, but he was having to play deep to try and defensively cover for the fact that, well, basically Havertz was, I don't know, I think he was on walkabouts last night. He didn't do his job defensively. But I stick with Mount. Not one of his best games, but tried hard. 7. He just had to drop too deep. It takes all the effectiveness out of his game. I blame Tuchel for the team selection if I'm being brutally honest at this early stage. Havertz last night, to my way of thinking, bottled out of a challenge with a goalkeeper where he could have got his foot in first. Lost it a few times. Always tries to go across a player. If you're gonna lose it, go directly at the player, because when you're going across it, across him, you've got no way. Your momentum's going forward. You've got no way if he nudges it off you of being able to get back behind him. Basic bit of coaching there that these players should know instinctively. Passing selection last night wasn't the greatest. A couple of lovely little touches. Talking of lovely little touches, do you know what? Jorginho come out with one bit of skill last night. I think he beat about 3 men in one go in close proximity. And do you know what? Jorginho gets a 7 because I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, so Havertz gets a 6 from me last night. I think he's going to be a great talent. I think he is a great talent. I think he's going to be a great player for Chelsea. But last night, just didn't. I think when you're playing against sides like Brighton, you need that little bit of energy, a little bit of Kovacic or Kante in that midfield in order to get the best out of someone like Havertz. Up front, Pulisic huffed and puffed. Not a lot of balls, a lot across the ground. Chelsea last night seemed to play a lot of balls in the air, especially out to. I felt sorry for Reece James. He's 5'8", playing against some right big lumps at the back there, and a lot was in the air. Not going to score the substitutes. We didn't improve greatly when they come on. Tuchel. Yeah, surely he can see that. Surely he can see where our energy derives from in midfield. Sorry, Thomas. I think you're doing a great job on the whole, but last night you get a 5.5 from me. In the later days of Lampard's reign, people would be calling for his head if he put a side out and the performance was so abject as it was last night. So it's not all doom and gloom. We need to beat West Ham on Saturday. I think if we don't beat West Ham on Saturday, we can actually kiss goodbye to the top 4. So last night was yet another reality check if we needed one after the West Brom game. It's alright getting up against the big sides, but you don't want to be relying on beating Real Madrid home and away and then the winner of City PSG to get your top European football next year. So we need to beat West Ham. Okay, but on the whole, what a week. It's a typical Chelsea Football Club week, isn't it? The high of beating Man City, the low of the Psychopaths at the top trying to take the club away from us, the high of our great fan base. You look online sometimes and you think, what a bunch of muppets actually follow us, and then you see scenes like that outside Stamford Bridge. and it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. Well done. The highs of that, and then the low of that dross last night. Dross. Super League. Oh, I bet there's a few Brighton fans laughing about that last night, and there's a few Chelsea fans like me crying about it. We can be super on our night, but the trouble is we have too many nights like last night still, and let's try and eradicate them. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. We've still got our football club, and it's still got a little bit of heart beating in it, thanks to you guys. Okay, speak to you after West Ham. Up to Chelsea.